known to y'all as, ooh, no. Feel me? L, half a circle, Skrilla sign, H block, O-N-E pill. You feel me? It's me still. Apparently, people would like to hear about the first time that I tried ecstasy. MDMA is a very dangerous drug and I don't recommend it. You see all the awkward hand movements I do, esoteric fashion sense, strange garments that I drape myself in, accelerated aging process, fucked up marks on my face, around my eyes and shit. You don't want to fucking take drugs. It's bad for you. Euphoric is a perfect way to describe MDMA. And back in the day, most Molly was cut with all different kinds of additives and gnarly shit. And it was the party era, it was the rave era, and people were, there's all kinds of like, there's shit called like Blue Nikes, Mitsubishis, and Shamrocks. They had all these names. A lot of them weren't affiliated, like, you know, being run by the mob. Most of them weren't made in America at that time. Most ecstasy was actually being made in Europe and being imported all over the world from, you know, Amsterdam and France and shit like that. And this, I'm not revealing any secrets that aren't known. This is just, you know, at one point, MDMA was actually legal in Texas in bars in the 1980s. Too bad I was only like 5 years old. Because I would have been getting poppin' and getting cool in Texas. But, so the first time I ever tried it, I actually used to sell illicit drugs before I got caught up and went to juvie and learned my lesson and never did anything like that again. But at that time I was doing a lot of things, doing whatever I could to make money. And most people don't realize that in the 90s, the rave scene and the hip hop scene in Los Angeles were pretty much the same thing. It was like all bass music, all electronic music, everything was like unified at the same party. So if you wanted to see your favorite hip hop show, like if you wanted to go see J. Rue the Damager and Del the Funky Homo Sapien perform, they would be rocking at some shit with some crazy drum and bass DJs and trances. Before motherfuckers called shit EDM. And it was like, yo, what's EDM? That's my phone, whatever. It's always going on. Back then there were separate genres and shit, and I was going there to come up on little candy kids. At every rave back in the 90s in LA, there'd be fools walking around looking really shady and somewhat out of place, and they'd be like, X, X, X. People walk by, they'd be like, X, 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 or K. I got that K, I got K. Or L, L, I got L. You know, they just trying to surf shit. I was one of them shady motherfuckers. And I'm like chilling, and then like, I'm like, damn, all these fools are on, like all these ravers look weird, they're dressed kind of weird. I'm with my street fools, you know, I'm with my foolies hustling and shit, my West Siders. And then like, I'm like, you know what, like, I'm about to try one of these things because I want to see like, what the fuck, this shit is boring as fuck. I'm not even making money like I want to be. Like, what can I see fools getting arrested, like, man, fuck this shit. This I believe was Nocturnal Wonderland 97, I believe this was, which was before 98, which was the year that everything got tear gassed. But this was a crazy party though. I was like 15 years old, I believe, and I wound up popping one of it. It was called a Star of David pill because it was getting in touch with my Yiddish roots, and it had a Star of David on it. So I popped one of them, and I was feeling it really pretty quick. I thought I was rolling before I was. It's kind of like that with drugs because you have these preconceived notions. You have like your mind and body build it up like, oh, before I'm rolling, I'm gonna feel like this and I'm gonna be horny and wanna grind, blah, 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 blah. You have all these ideas of what you're gonna feel like. And then that moment where the drug actually smacks you in the motherfucking face and you're rolling. And I remember that shit and I was just like, oh, this is what it's like. You didn't know that there's no dance. And so I'm like at this rave, I'm supposed to be hustling, and then I come across like a bunch of candy kids. I get adopted by all these cute ass girls looking like Sailor Moon. Bitches got blonde hair, other bitch got blue hair, bitch got pink hair. They're letting me play with their titties. These bitches are massaging me and shit. You feel me, smoking me out. I'm having the time of my life. I'm like, damn, like these raver kids are kind of cool. Like I thought that these fools were some bitch ass motherfuckers, but no, this shit's kind of cool. And this dude's not even tripping that like that the bitch he was chilling with is now fucking giving me a massage because they just like low-key on some like electronic hippie shit. I'm like, yo, this shit's laid back as fuck, right? And then I walked into the drum and bass room, and that's when everything got extra crazy, just like nar weird, because me being a hip-hop head, I didn't realize like drum and bass is basically like hip hop music sped up and shit, and it was just like, it was the dopest thing I'd ever heard in my life. It was like to the tempo of my ADD, and just me being on an E-pill made me feel like I was running through the forest, jumping over branches at top speed, like with a sword out. You feel me? Like, I was just like, I wound up, you know, them retards you see with their head against the fucking speaker, just geeking to the music, losing like 90% of their hearing. You feel me? Like, that shit was crazy. It's the first time I rolled Nocturnal Wonderland. Nah, I said, but this shit changed my life. Yeah, I was drinking too. I like hard a lot. I like beer's cool and stuff. I'm never one that super developed a taste for beer. There's certain types of beer that I fuck with, you know, like as far as beer, my favorite is Hefeweizen, you know what I'm saying? I like lighter beers and shit, that blonde shit, which is funny because I like exotic women, but I like blonde beers and with a little like orange or lemon slice on it. If I go to a bar and order a microbrew, some Hefeweizen would be great, but I much prefer shots of either tequila or, you know, I grew up on Hennessy and Remy, and as I got older, I think old people like whiskey. I developed a taste for whiskey. It was crazy because, you know, being like hip-hop culture has always been infatuated with cognac and Hennessy. Fools are always, you know, Hennessy, enemies, you feel me? Like, so when I was going out to France for my first time, me and Plex, we got booked by our homies Chinese man to go rock with them, and we had a big show at the spot at Lycée Montmartre, you know, which is like a huge venue in Paris. We're like ignorant ass Cali kids, have no idea what the fuck it is, but we're psyched to go out there, and they're like, what, like a bottle of anything you guys want to drink, what do you want? And we're like, Hennessy, we want some motherfucking Hennessy, good, like, what's up, man? You feel me? Like, we want a Hennessy. All the French people are laughing at us and making fun of us because, like, A, that's what their parents drink, you know what I mean? And B, that's just like some corny shit. They're all drinking American. They're all off of like Jack Daniels and shit like that. And now I've developed way more of a taste for that, you know. Vodka tends to be good for getting women drink. Like, that's like thought drink of choice. Like, hose me off the vodka. You want to get bitches ready? Vodka. Oh yeah, I was in Time Cop. People don't realize this. My family is deeply involved in the entertainment industry. I've always been in the entertainment industry. My pops has been making movies. My pops has made classic movies. I'm super proud of him. My dad, Peter Hyams, he made 2010. My dad, what's crazy about my dad is he's one of the only people in history that is both major motion picture directors and director of photography, which in many ways stifled his career, and people were hating on him for it because there's two separate unions, and he wasn't even allowed in the directors of photography union for the majority. I don't even think he still is. Like, they invited him to go through the application process like later in his career, and they still hated on him, you know what I'm saying? It's like URL wanting you to battle hella bad, and then they offer you a crazy battle, but no, you don't get to, you know what I'm saying? Or King of the Dot or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they like shat on him at the last moment, and he actually had to, it don't even matter now, but he's used assumed aliases and shit that were nominated he was nominated for Academy Awards under different names and shit like that, which is unheard of, and luckily he didn't win, I guess, right? You know what I mean? Like, so I was in Time Cop because I was a little kid on a movie set, and I wasn't, you know, people had always said I should do child acting, and I've done other films as well. I have an IMDb and other credits, but it's always mainly due to coincidence and just me being a charismatic, good-looking kid, so I got other acting work, but I was just a little regular West LA kid, and that's kind of like common. You're like, not even like for like fucking rich-ass kids, regular kids from LA are going through that same shit, especially on the west side. I happened to be on the set in Vancouver when Time Cop was being made. My pops just threw me in the movie. It wasn't even in the script. He was like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, you're about to be in this shit. And they had all kinds of crazy costumes. They had like, the whole entire area looked like it was 1929 was the scene, and it was during the stock market crash of 29 in New York, and everything, all the big buildings, they must have spent millions of dollars on that. They could have fed Somalia for months, you feel me, for that movie set. And like, for me, it's crazy. I had like such a strange perspective growing up in LA during the height of racial tension, seeing the LA riots, being a part of it, going to public and private schools in LA, and seeing fucking like, you know, like so much crazy shit, like seeing fools throwing up sets, and at the same time I'm on movie sets. I was on the movie set of Monster Squad, and like
Monster Squad,
and it was like, yeah,
Wolfman don't have hearts.
Shit lost a lot of money, but it's a cult classic now.
That's what we have.
I don't realize shit like that. And Stay Tuned was another one, and I just happened to be on the set for Tom Cop. They had me, suit up in like some newspaper attire and shit. I went out there. I had a line of dialogue, which wound up getting me paid residual checks for years. So my pops hooked me up, and that was a good look.
Word.
I wasn't drunk yet.
How would you describe your sense of fashion?
I think a lot of other people have lots of adjectives they use to describe my sense of fashion, and I think what I strive for is just being unique in myself, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people pick up on that. There's certain things that I'm paying homage to, and there's certain things that like inspire me aesthetically. I feel like everything I do is a piece of art. I am a piece of art, so like the way I look and the way I express myself and the way I dress is part of that. And like obviously if I need to look a certain way, I'll do it, whatever that is, but it's like I'm being me. People can be like, I'm Lush One. That's why there's hundreds, and I encourage hundreds more to send me pics of them or their kids or their relatives dressed in outfits, similar to me, because like I'm being myself, and whether I set trends or not, whether people think I look ridiculous, whether people think I look wavy, like whether I'm trill as fuck, it don't matter. I'm being me, and it's a style that's unique to myself. People always ask me about this, and it's a good thing that I shed light on it, is what is that alien juice? What was I drinking in that picture when I first met Drake? You see me holding that beverage. It looks like fucking some like type of Red Bull that they have on E.T.'s planet. And it basically was. But what's crazy is the funny thing about it is it's far less exotic than everybody thinks. It was just some fucking lime juice and vodka that they had backstage. There's limited drinks backstage. It looked crazy because I'm holding it and I look crazy, like, you feel me? But like it added a lot of mystique to it. That wasn't the highest I've ever been in a battle, but the second time I went to Canada for a battle, blackout event, some nice young lady, I was gonna say bitch, but I can say bitch. Some nice bitch. What's up, baby girl? Brought me some Molly, and I tried that shit, and it was really fucking strong. And I was rolling my fucking face off when I met Raekwon and shit. That's why I came up to Raekwon like, shit, check this so fly shit out. And he loved me for it. And we have 2 records together, and it's a blessing. But what's crazy is that was the highest I ever been. There's a moment you see me actually laying on the ground during the event. Like Harley took a picture of me from an Epic Mealtime because I was so fucking loaded. I was laying on the fucking ground, and I was rolling my face off. PH came up to me. Now I can handle my like if I was gonna be off anything at an event, I'd be able to handle myself way better. It was at that time it was an overload of experiences. What I've gone through in real life dwarfs anything that happened at a battle. But I was so fucking gone at that moment. PH was about to battle. I forget who he was battling. He came up to me. He's like, "You PH my partner." He's like, "Hey, Lush, you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Take care of yourself, bro." Like he could tell I was loaded as fuck. You know what I mean?
Were you lying on a couch or just like on the floor?
I laid on the fucking ground for a minute, bro. It was nice and cool. It felt cool. You know, if you drink too much and you're about to yak, all you do is you focus on, I focus on the one dot. There's one dot on the ground or something like a speck, and you're staring at that speck, and you're like, as you're yakking or after you're yakking, you're laying in the cold essence, and you're thinking to yourself, this is why I get faded for this dot, for this speck. That's why I do this. So you talk about the Adderall from the WRCs?
No, but yeah, talk about
I was very strategic at the WRCs. I knew what they were gonna do because I had a few homies that had battled in it the year before. And they told me like, yeah, basically the WRCs, those dudes, Harry and all them, respect to those cats, by the way. Them blokes are fucked in the head, and the whole WRCs is a social experiment, and they're gonna do whatever they have to do to really see who the best freestylers in the world are. So they're purposely trying to exhaust you. What did they give us at the WRCs? They gave us Red Bull and pizza. So Red Bull and pizza, that's a lot of carbohydrates. That's something that'll temporarily boost you up and make you dead. I knew that. I knew that I had Adderall on deck because I'm the gingerbread man. You feel me? I'm jugging. I have whatever I need, whatever anybody needs. So I have some Adderall on deck. If they want to play games with me, like psychiatrists, I can flip the script on them. So I waited until half the battles were over. Once we got to the final round, there's 6 teams. We battled each other twice. Waited until the first round was over. Popped an Adderall. Everybody was losing energy, and I spazzed. Very, very calculatedly. Well, I'll tell you this. It's definitely not a good idea, but Xanax is basically a time machine. You know, Danny Myers considers him the king of fucking lyrics. I consider myself the king of loaders, Danny Myers. And basically the other night, 2 nights ago, me and my bitch got into it so bad and I was feeling myself. I got a bunch of Klonopins. I call Klonopins Tetsuo when you mix. I like the dissolvable kind that you could drop into an Orchard apple beer. I like Orchard apple beer a lot. It's like cider with a punch. 5%, you know what I'm saying, comparable to this, right? You drop the fucking you drop one of those dissolvables in there, be like, Tetsuo! If you're a fan of Akira, you know what's up. And then I fucking swore that. I just kept eating them. I had 20 on deck, and then I guess I kept eating them. My girl had them like on deck. She's like, if you calm down, give me one. I have one more. Gave me half of one more. At the end of the night, she had flushed me down the toilet. My phone was broke. I was kicked out of bed. Don't fucking mess with the bars, man. You're like, don't mess with drugs, K-pins, any of that shit is bad, player. You're like, drugs are bad, okay?
All right. What's your favorite drinking story?
Favorite drink? I remember back when I was a youngster, before I used to the coolest thing ever was 40s. It was all about blunts and 40s. Before fools were like sipping syrup and popping Molly and all that, and even sipping Ciroc or Patron or whatever is trendy at the moment. Like, motherfuckers was on blunts and 40s, dank and drank in the Bay, they used to say. In LA, before I was old enough to get a 40 or find a 40, I used to take a bottle of green sparkling water that my parents had. I'm talking 5th grade. I would empty it out and pour 3 beers into it. I'd be like, I have a 40. That was tight.
That's pretty awesome.
I used to also smoke oregano at that time. That was 5th grade. I was getting started early.
Smoke oregano?
I used to take notebook paper and roll up oregano, pretend it was weed. First time I tried to smoke a cigarette, I lit the wrong end. I really wanted to be a loader, all the DARE program and all that, don't drink, don't do drugs, don't be involved, and I was just like, damn, this shit looks tight. You combine that with Cypress Hill, and I was like, man, I'm trying to get on, baby. And then that being that, if you were from LA in the early 90s and you didn't tag, smoke, and skateboard, you was a sucker. If you didn't claim some hood, you didn't have a choice because you get off at a certain bus. You're getting dropped off a bus after summer camp, and you get off up to this intersection. You must be from this gang because you got off at this bus stop, so you got kids harassing you for no fucking reason. And that's just tagging, smoking weed, drinking 40s, drinking homemade Mama 40s out of the green seltzer bottle with Perrier. Okay, made it.
West Los Syrup King. West Los Syrup King. I can show you where it is. My OGs, they can share a script. Dang. Go like Keyshawn, smoking on